everybody, and welcome to Energetic Principles Monthly Horoscopes for September 2017. My name is Melissa LaFara, and I am an astrologer and tarot reader from San Diego, California. And in this video, we're going to discuss what is in store and what key dates to look for during this September period. So let's get started.
And may the stars be with you.
All right, Aquarius Aquarius Rising. So what does September have in store for you? Well, you know, the sun has now moved into Virgo. I moved in on August 22nd. And so we are, you know, a handful of days into this Virgo consciousness. And so our vitality and our awareness and our spotlight has basically shifted. And for you, for you, Aquarius, Mercury retrograde still here. So for the Aquarius, essentially we are having this is a time of change and transition in your life, and you are gracefully moving to a new reality of who you are and what it is that you do, and you know who you're intimate with, and who you share that reality with. So this is essentially a month of, you know, getting in touch with your shared resources with other people, or maybe your own debts. If you have any, if you're finding yourself in debt, or you're wondering how you're going to pay for it all, these are issues where you have to maybe reach out to other people and find some help and support in that area. And it's also a time where you might be enforcing more boundaries with other people, especially people that you're intimate with in life. And you might need to open up in some areas, and you might need to draw lines in other areas. Because essentially, you know, this is a time where you are becoming more dedicated and more focused to what it is that you're passionate about, and getting practical about your own desires, and making those real in life, and making the changes necessary in order for those things to become a reality. So just know that you are working through a little bit of a challenging period, Aquarius, this Virgo season. But essentially on the other side of it, you're going to have moved through this transitory place into a far better emotional situation. You're going to have stronger boundaries, and you're going to be even more dedicated to what it is you're passionate about and your own personal power within that. So let's talk about some key dates to look out for in September. And so the first day we're going to talk about is September 5th. And that is when Mercury is finally going direct on the solar eclipse point at 28 degrees Leo. And so we've spent these last couple weeks in basically reworking our mind and going over all these, you know, the issues of the last 3 months or so, last 3-4 months. And so our mind is clearer now. We're moving forward. We're back on track. And for you, Aquarius, it's really about being back on track with relationships and your partnerships, and being much more clearer in your self-expression with others. And you know, it's one thing to be clear about self-expression, but it's to be able to do it in the right way, the right tactful way, to speak your piece, but also create more joy and happiness in the relationship. Because essentially that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a good time with another person. So you're going to be, you know, you're going to be more likely to communicate what is fair in a partnership, and what it is that you want. You're going to be asking for what it is that you personally want, and you're going to hope that the other person is willing to receive that and to honor that and to work on that with you for these more equal partnerships. So you may have been working on issues in the mind of codependency, and you know, basically, issues of codependency, or maybe the fear of dependency, or possibly the two together that intertwine together. But ultimately, you have a better understanding of who your partner is, or what it is you want of a partner if you're looking for a relationship, and what it is that you contribute yourself to the relationship. So your mind is much clearer here, and now you can go forward with that bond, or what it is that you're looking for, and then now the mind is going to be focused on all that transition and change and that intimacy that I was just talking about. So the next day we're going to talk about is literally the next day, which is September 6th, which is our full moon at 13 degrees Pisces. And so full moons are really a time of release. You know, we have a polarity that apexes the sun and the moon, and it brings it to its fullest, and then it's time to release. And this particular moon is going to be a breakthrough moon. So just know this one's going to be felt pretty strongly, especially in a water sign. And for you, Aquarius, that is all around your finances and your own ability to manifest in life, and basically your self-worth and your self-esteem issues. So you might find like a tug of war between around your own boundaries and your own, and what it is that you value. So chances are, like, maybe you have some illusions around what your finances look like, and it's time to really get some of that, dose some of that Virgo realness in there, and be like, okay, well, I was thinking it was this way, but really it's this way. So I have to create some boundaries here, you know. I can't spend it on this anymore, or this expense isn't needed anymore. I have to sacrifice these things in order to get this, which is what I really want and what I really want to manifest. So just know there's you might feel pretty emotional around your own self-worth right now and your own earning power. And it's also a time to get creative with your own personal resources and how you can share those with other people and get other shared resources involved in what it is that you're doing. If you're a creative person out there with creative projects going on, this is a time when you can basically combine your resources with someone else's. So just know that, you know, you might feel emotional about your own self-worth and your manifestation potential during this full moon. And just work through that. Work through any illusion or confusion that you might have there, and get a healthy dose of reality, so that you can get everything on the right track and let go of old ideas of old self-esteem patterns and old financial habits that are just not working for you in the you of today. So the next day we're going to talk about is September 13th, when we have the Sun squaring Saturn in Sagittarius. And the Sun squares Saturn a couple days a year. So, you know, we between the squares and the opposition, there's a few days a year where we're just like, oh, the world is on my shoulders. So just know that around September 13th, give or take some days, you're going to feel, some obstacles come your way. You're going to feel some temporary frustrations. You might have to make some tough decisions in your life. You need to stay patient. You need to stay focused on what it is that you've been building, and essentially stay realistic but not pessimistic. And for you, Aquarius, that's going to be in the area of, what your future plans look like, versus the change you need to make today, and the boundaries that you need to put in place, and your own shared resources and in debts that you might have, and how that might limit your future based on these considerations. So just know that this is a time when Saturn's like, okay, you want these things, you see this picture, this big plan, but reality says that you're going to have to make these changes. You're going to have to embrace new ways of relating intimately with other people. You may be asked to make a commitment that essentially disrupts your own personal boundaries and your own freedom. So there could be some type of issue along that. Or there could be some testing. You could find yourself a little testy with friends, and the boundaries within friendship, and if people are overstepping stepping the line a little bit. So these are the areas where you might feel that weight on your shoulders. So the next day we're going to talk about is the Virgo new moon, which is the 27 degrees Virgo on September 19th or 20th, depending on where you are in the world. And it's interesting because usually we have a new moon kind of early in the cycle of, you know, what season we're in. But because we had 2 new moons in Leo, essentially our Virgo new moon is coming late. And so we've done all this work and now we're getting the revitalization. So after you've done all this work, you kind of get that, you know, fresh new boost. And for you, Aquarius, it's really about, you're going to be planting seeds in the area of, you know, shifting your own personal boundaries and drawing the line in the sand over some certain things in your life. And you're going to be acting essentially for greater change and how you can transition into this new person that you're essentially becoming. And you're going to want to renew your own control over your own instinctual response. You know, some things that might have gotten in your way or reactions, especially with others and especially in intimate situations, you're going to have more control over those areas now and more personal power there. So this is a perfect time to revive any type of intimacy issues you have, or revive a sexual bond with a partner even. So keep a lookout for this new moon on September 19th and 20th. Because we're going to end the month, basically, we're moving into Libra season on September 22nd. We have the autumn equinox when the sun moves into Libra, and when we have equal light and equal night, essentially, during the day and the night. And it's just a natural change of the season where we begin our release cycle. So Aquarius, for you, that's going to be really about tapping into how you can broaden your horizons, expand what it is you know in your relationships and your social life. It's going to be taken to you know, Aquarius 2.0 in that area, and you're going to want to break routines for more balance. Chances are you're off balance based on your own rigid patterns that you still are operating with, and so now it's time to look at your own life's philosophy and what it is you believe, and step out of these old patterns that are now becoming outdated and are keeping you stuck in certain areas. So just know that you're gonna at the end of September and going into October, you're basically going to be working on finding peace through pondering your own life's philosophy and enlarging your life view. So Aquarius, this is a big month for you where you're doing a lot of changes. You're putting your foot down in certain areas. You're getting in control of your finances, and you're trying to basically transition in as smoothly as possible in life. All right, Aquarius, so what does the tarot have in store for you this September? Well, we have the Fool as our focus and the Three of Swords as our grounding. And, you know, it's interesting because one card is like, and another card's like, you know, so there's a lot of what is going on for you around these new beginnings and this change and this transition you're going through, and trusting this process that you're in, and all this spontaneity and the excitement around what it is you're experiencing. But at the same time, you are essentially grounded in this mind that is a little confused. You don't know what's going, you know, part of you doesn't know what's going on, and part of you isn't trusting the process. And that is where we need to step into that Fool and learn to really take a chance in life, and to know that your mind might not have it all figured out, and that's okay, but you have to carry on and know that you might fall here and there as you go along your path. And so if you have experienced some type of turmoil lately, or some sorrow in your life, or there's been heartbreak, you know, or a loss of a partner or a dream that you had, just know that through this loss, you're basically setting yourself up for this new beginning that is necessary, but will allow you to revitalize the freshness of life, especially when we move into Libra season and you're working on that, expanding your own horizons. You're really going to feel that Fool influence come in. But so right now it's all about, trusting the process, taking a risk, but also tempering your own idealism. If you've been overly idealistic around certain areas in your life, and especially over these heartbreaks or these losses, or being let down by someone, or emotional confusion, the idealism might be getting in the way, and your own naivety over this situation. So just know with the Fool, essentially you can break out, you can have a fresh start. Even if things aren't clear, that's okay. You can still begin anew, and your mind will figure it out. Because to be honest, your mind is the main issue right now. So break out of that stale pattern here, and allow yourself to make the changes and the risks that you need to bring some freshness and a new beginning in your life. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to connect with me to find out more or to get a reading, you can find me at energeticprinciples.com. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Energetic Principles. I also have a podcast with Shauna McGrath of Neo-Feminine Astrology, which is called The Feminine Principle, Astrology for Authentic Living. And that is a podcast that comes out weekly where we discuss what is going on in the stars, along with tarot cards and inspirational quotes. So feel free to stop by. You can find that on Podbean, iTunes, or YouTube. I'd love to connect with you and hear what you're thinking during this September season. So please comment below with what is going on with you. And if you want to stay in the know, please subscribe to my channel. So I'm wishing everybody a fabulous September and the month ahead. And as always, may the stars be with you.